One. Today, let's see how do we add connections to a steel beam and the column in Revit. Make sure you have used structural template for modeling this structural framework. And now for adding the connections, you must be sure that you are using the structural template. Okay. Now let's see. It must be a structural beam, column and structural beam for you to add the connection. And now what we'll be doing is we'll click on connection. Okay. And before that, we need to define the connection setting before we make the connection. Before we click on this, let's define the connection settings. For that, you need to click on this arrow. Okay. So this will open the connection settings. So for basically connecting this beam and the column, we have to actually load in the connections which we want to use. You can load in the multiple connection also. But in this case, I'll be loading two connections. So on both the ends of the beam, I'll be showing you different connections. Okay. So let's load like among all these connections which are available, let's load moment and plate connection. And also we can look at loading in, let's see what we have got here. And plate placing. Okay. Sponge, double leaves, plate, and what else we have? Berlin and sure leaves, rectangle. Oh, let's see here. Seated beam connection is what we can see. You can look at. So let's add this also. Let's click on OK. And now let's form a connection. So click on the column first and the beam the second. And then click on structure, then click on connection. So if you see this connection as generic connection has been formed. So this being the primary member, this being the secondary member. Okay. So you can flip it if you want, like just dragging it to the other end. This will get flipped. Okay. So, but this is what we want to retain. Let's form another connection by selecting this column and then this beam. Click on structure, click on connection. So now we have another connection here. The priority is set well. And now what we'll be doing is we'll click on this generic connection. We'll make this moment and plate. Okay. So automatically the connection has been added. Make sure the detail level is set to fine. Otherwise you won't be able to see it. Okay. And let's do it for the other end. Let's make it seated beam connection. Here I perceive I need to lower down this beam or increase the height of the column or vice versa. So we'll use this one. We'll lower down the beam preferably minus 300 minus 300. All right. So this is how you add the connection. Uh, Now after this we'll see how do we add the or edit the connection. Okay. Now we'll learn how do we edit the connection. So for editing the connection, you'll have to click on the connection and you'll have to click on make sure that it's override by instance is checked. Okay. And then you click on the detailed parameter edit. So this will okay. So it's actually changing. Let's click on this. Let's click on edit. And now this particular dialog box appears. Here you can change the plate thickness. So if you see this diagram, you can refer to the parameters visually here. Okay. So if it says plate thickness, so number one, here you can refer to number one, which is the plate thickness. That is 10 mm at the moment. And then the erection tolerance, if you want to keep any, like the distance between the plate end face and the face of the column. Okay. And plate height layout is like this is actually done by bolts at the moment, but you can define the total height. Okay, if even by projections from the edge to edge distance you can change. But let's resort to total as of now, and let's keep this also to the beam top for the start distance. So let's say the height of the plate, that is this here to here, it's around 400. So let's type in 400. And now this distance, which we see beam top, is set to 75. Let's set it to 50. Yeah. So this way you will be able to uh, edit the properties. Even you can add the bolts, edit the bolts, like diameter of the bolt, for example. If you have used another kind of, like, want to use another kind of bolt, for example, change the diameter from here, let's say 16 mm. The bolt will change. The bolt type you can change. So what kind of bolt you want to use. So all the kinds of bolts are actually listed here. So all the standards, boltings and different manufacturers, all are listed here. You can choose any of this and experiment among this, and then you can choose the bolt grade. Okay, the grade of the bolt, the bolt assembly, whether it's standard or tapered one. Okay, and here you can define the slot part. Okay, so it so you see the slot has come, and slot direction or vertical you keep, this will change. Getting it? And slot length you can change. So let's remove the slot as of now. Let's keep it to none. Uh, is the bolts and the holes. Okay. So horizontal bolts number here you can check here. So basically number of bolts per side is one. So you can we don't have space here, so let's keep it to one. Edge to edge distance. So basically 6 and 7 if you see. So the edge to edge distance, let's increase it to around 65. This will change a little bit. Okay. And let's go to vertical bolts now. Here you can set the amount of bolts. Okay. So if you see, like, let's make it two. You see, two bolt has come. So at the group two, let's make it two. So more bolts are coming. So this is basically dividing the bolts into two parts, like from the middle of the plate. If you keep it to one, so only two bolts will be there, like one at the middle, uh, likewise. Okay. Start distance and end distance. So if you keep it to center, they will come to the center one. Now it is two, right? Let's make it two and one. Yes, now it's good. It's centered, right? Both ends are updated. Here you can set the distance between the bolts. So basically the start distance you can edit. Let's make it 50. The distance is changed, you see. And then interim distance, if you want to change, you can change. So it's more closer. Let's make it a little bit, uh, let's make it 80. Let's make this also 80. This way. Want to add any stiffness or something to the to this, and now to the top full. Likewise, you can add this stiffener, and like bottom you want to add three-fourth. Three-fourth stiffener has come, and this way let's make it full. Or if you do not want it full, you can make a diagonal one, top to bottom, like this. And the thickness of it, let's make it 10. This will become thicker. All right. So this is how you change the connection. Even welds, if you want, you can add welds. Okay. Like if you need weld. So here already the welds have been specified. Fillet weld and how it will be weld. You can check the kind of welding you want to do with this. Okay. And you see different kinds of welds are already there all around for the end plate. And welds will, if you see the symbol, these are welds. So basically the welds have been added. If we check here, one thing I think we could change is the plate layout. So basically the uh, the plate layout, okay, the layout distance, and then we have bolts. So number two width, all right, and let's change it to around 175. Yes, a little bit more lesser than 160 is good. This way you can change the properties of the connections. Okay. And another option which we have here is like if you click on the connection, you can like this is one module, right? Now if you want to break it in different parts, so you can click on break. So this will actually break the connection into different components. Like like this. Different you can actually uh select different components. Let's undo this. And now modify by customize. So if you want to use this custom connection somewhere else, like to the other end of this beam, you can use it. Okay, so let's make it BIMTech custom in movement plate connection. Click on OK. Click finish. You look at this. Uh, it seems that we have another custom connection here, right? And now let's actually try to propagate this to the other end. So here, let's change it to BIMTech custom. Here you see it has come automatically. So this way you are able to edit the parameters and reuse the connections if you want. All right. Thank you.